Let's go to Chris Broussard, co-host First Things First, joining us live from New York. So, I was talking about this earlier. I'm not surprised Karl-Anthony Towns had a big game. I mean, he's a gifted offensive player. But it was interesting. Haliburton leaves for about 4 minutes. End of the third, start of the fourth. And Indiana just lost their mojo totally offensively. He comes back. They kind of find it. But it's interesting, Chris. My interpretation was Indiana is not just about talent. They're really a pace team. They're a rhythm team. And when Haliburton, end of third, early fourth, was out for 4.5 minutes, Chris, I don't think they ever found their rhythm again. And so I'm not discrediting the Knicks. Their rotational defense was better. But some of this it illustrated how valuable Haliburton is to the pace of this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, like you said, give the Knicks credit, particularly Karl-Anthony Towns was scoring the 20 points in the fourth quarter, hit the threes, attacked the basket, got to the free throw line. So they deserve credit, but you're absolutely right. And what you're acknowledging is how great Tyrese Haliburton is. And I was speaking with an agent about this weekend, and he was bringing up that Haliburton doesn't always lead the team in scoring. I said, this dude is a true point guard, and he doesn't have to lead the Pacers in scoring to be their best player. He controls the tempo. He sets the pace. He gets the ball to the right guys. He determines, for the most part, very smartly when he's going to be aggressive as a scorer, when he's going to sit back and get the ball elsewhere. We're not used to seeing true point guards anymore,
right,
Colin. We're used to seeing the point guards that score first and pass second. Jalen Brunson, and I'm not even disrespecting them. They're great, a lot of them. But Jalen Brunson's Exhibit A and Steph Curry and Damian Lillard. So a lot of them are phenomenal players. But so when we see a Tyrese Haliburton, we almost think, he only gives you 20 points a game. Magic Johnson was a career 19-point scorer. I'm not saying Tyrese is Magic, but he is a true point guard who can lead the league in assists and give you 9 to 11 a game, and then also get you 18 to 24 points. Right. He's a great player. He is truly a phenomenal player.
Yeah, and again, it is a rhythm team, and they lost their rhythm, and they couldn't find it. You know, it's interesting about the Knicks. I was saying the Knicks actually, you know exactly what they need. So they need somebody. They don't shoot threes particularly well. And because Brunson and Cat, Chris, are poor defenders, it's hard to have them on the floor simultaneously. So if they move off Cat, who, of course, has a market, you keep Robinson for defense. You would say, okay, we need a three-ball shooter, a secondary scorer who doesn't need the ball in his hands. We need some length because we're losing Cat, and a willing defender. Is that not Kevin Durant? Check, 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 check. I mean, they don't. Is it not KD?
Look, I love KD with the Knicks, with Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. Look, he's better than Cat. I'm not denying that. But I'm not, at this point in their careers, I'm not giving up Cat for KD. Because Cat rebounds better. Cat gets in foul trouble. He's not a great defender, obviously. But I'm kind of done with the KD experiments where he has to be like the first guy. I mean, I get Brunson would be the first guy. But to think I'm going to get rid of Cat and bring KD in here and the Knicks are going to be the best team in the East, I'm not really going there. Again, if I can get him without losing Cat, then certainly, and that'd be a nice big three because KD would be the perfect piece with them. But what I do, Colin, if the Knicks go ahead and lose this series, I think what they need to do, and I said this on the show before about Tibbs, job security, certainly keep Tibbs, no question about that. But the Knicks need to look at how do we make our offense less Brunson-centric and get more, like when you look at the Pacers, they move the ball, the players are moving, the Knicks are stationary for the most part, and what that does is you don't know which Pacer's gonna have the hot hand. Could be Haliburton, could be Siakam, could be Nesmith or Nembhard or, somebody, the big guy, so it could be a number of their guys. That's where the Knicks need to get, because Miles Bridges is really good at score. Josh Hart can have his moments, and OG Anunoby can score. So I just think they need to become a little more egalitarian in their offense. Because, look, they're certainly not better without Brunson. But notice their 2 game-turning runs, game 1 when they took control, right, the 14-0 run with Brunson on the bench. Last night, 16-7 run into the third quarter when Brunson's out, or to early in the fourth when he comes in. They go on a 16-7 run to get back into the game from down 13. So it just shows you they have the depth that usually Tibbs doesn't use, and they also have other guys that can score the ball when needed to. So I think they should look at that.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting. You just pointed out 2 things that are true. Brunson doesn't always elevate others, and he's a poor defender. Haliburton's a better defender and elevates everybody, but not as great a scorer. And I think if you look at the Knicks, they're a byproduct of Brunson's game. You taught me this years ago. Your game is your game. If Brunson's your point guard, then you have to have a catch-and-shoot shooter. Because you got to have somebody that can be like a Klay Thompson in his prime. Somebody that can watch him and just get the ball in the corner and shoot. You can't have another. That's why Brunson and Luka did not work, because they're both ball-centric. Whereas Haliburton is the opposite. He'll just go into distribution mode, pace and distribution mode, and for like 8 minutes, and you look up and he hits maybe 1 3. So it's the Pacers have had 10 different players lead them in scoring this season. Siakam, I think, led them in scoring for the regular season. So I do think the Pacers are a product of Haliburton's style. He's their quarterback, and the Knicks are of Brunson's style, and so you have to work from there. I want to go to the other series that's interesting. Now, there's 2. You know that depth can be overrated in the playoffs. It can be a little overrated. Oklahoma City is the only of the 4 teams left, Chris, that you get a literally different team on the road. 105 on the road, 123 at home. My take is their youth, their young players are not the same playoff games on the road. They look at times overwhelmed, which gives me the thought that, Minnesota's got a heartbeat in this series. Do you believe that today?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. You know, I've been skeptical about OKC because of their youth all season. Like you said, we all know role players don't typically play as well on the road, and that's what you're pointing to. Minnesota absolutely has a shot because they didn't just win Game 3. They made a statement, Colin. 42 points? Leading by 45? Like, that does not happen to OKC. And this group for OKC has been in the playoffs 2 years, all right? They've lost 7 games in those 2 years by a total of 49 points. They've only had 2 losses in their playoff history, you know, this group, where by double figures, and both of them were 12 points. So they have never been beaten by more than 12 points until Saturday night. So that is a mental statement that the Minnesota made that, hey, we can impose our will on you. And the key for Minnesota is not to turn the ball over, which they did in games 1 and 2. They didn't do that in game 3. That didn't allow OKC to get out and score in transition. And then you had Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle play well together. That's the first time this series those 2 have played well together in the same game. If they can get that in game 4, they can even up this series, and then we really got something to look forward to.
All right, Chris Broussard, he's on after us. First things first at the Indy 500, the last Thursday and Friday shows. As always, it was great to watch. Good seeing you, buddy.